Hi everyone, it's Samaras again. Today we're going to have a look at the solar panel mod out there. How it's going to affect your gameplay if you install it, what you need to build the solar panels and so on. But before we start, if you like to support the channel, it would be really great if you subscribe. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified when a new video comes out. Also, we're growing our small Discord community, so if you have any questions or just want to get in contact with me, just join the Discord community. I would be really glad to see you on there. The link to the Discord is in the description, of course. But now, without any further ado, let's jump right in. So, what does this mod do? Well, it gives you batteries for storage at night and solar panels for power at day. The batteries only charge at day and only supply power at night, so there's no real reason using them without the panels though. So, what does it really does? Well, it gives us clean and free energy. Well, not that we need clean energy, but sometimes energy without any resources needed is really useful. But before we look any further in where the best use case it will be for this mod, we're going to have a look into how to unlock it and what we're going to need to build the things itself. So unlocking it's as usual in the hub itself. The mod is under solar panels in tier 7 and requires 100 batteries, 300 computers, 500 quick-wire, and 250 alkali sheets to unlock it. So we see it's not really cheap, but not the most expensive either. It's the same for building the solar panels itself. You're going to need 30 alkali sheets, 60 quick wires, and 9 photovoltaic cells. Well, photovoltaic cells is a new item you need to build for the solar panel. It's consisting on 24 silicas and 15 alkali sheet itself. You can produce it in an assembler as usual for everything with 2 pieces in it. For 10 megawatts power, you see it's really a lot of stuff we have to put in there, and it's 10 megawatts of power which will only work a day. So, well, actually it's quite expensive for the power it gives out, but you don't need any resources to power it, and that's the real advantage. So if you need power at night too, you're going to need to build a battery storage. A battery storage needs 30 batteries, 30 copper ingots, 1 computer, and 90 quick wire to build. The battery storage has a maximum intake of 40 megawatts of power and a maximum output of 40 megawatts power too. But you can adjust as the input as well as the output from anywhere from 0 to up to this 40 megawatts. So why do we want to adjust those settings? Well, it has a maximum capacity too. The capacity of battery storage is 12,000 megajoules. A megajoule is the energy used up if you have 1 megawatt usage for 1 second. So if we calculate this down, divided by 60 for 1 minute, we have something like 200 watt minutes usage, which means if we divide this by 40 for the max capacity it has, it would use up the whole charge within 5 minutes, which is actually a really good timing because one night in Satisfactory is exactly 5 minutes long, and a day in Satisfactory is 45 minutes long. So we don't need to adjust anything in the output settings. But I'd like to lower it for about to 35 megawatts, just to have a little bit buffer in my capacity if for the case that the battery didn't load fully. It is much more interesting to adjust the intake values though. You only need about 4.4 megawatts to fully charge it in the period of 1 day. So I like to adjust it to 5 megawatts. This gives me about 20% safety margin just to make sure that my batteries are always loaded fully over the course of 1 day. This means if we build 4 solar panels and 1 battery storage, we have 35 megawatts of power at daytime and nighttime. I find this the most perfect balance between those two, unless of course you're using lamp mod. The lamp mod will give you an increase in power usage at night, so in that case you might want to build a little bit more battery storage. So something like 4 solar panels to 2 battery storages should be plenty fine for that case. When building the solar panels and the battery storage, the developer has a small extra for us, and that is that each solar panel and battery storage has 2 power lines connections. So you can have always one incoming and one outgoing power line, which makes it really easy to just cross connect the solar panels with this battery storage without using 200 power poles. Well, without having it feels like you use 200 power poles at least. When I first tried out to build a floor with the solar panels, I wanted to have it only 2 floors high. So I was forced to use the Mark 1 power pole because I didn't know from the Cost Connect, which would mean that for 4 solar panels and 1 battery storage, I would have used 3 power poles, which would be really, really bothersome to repeat this 100 times or so. But actually, building a huge solar power plant isn't the best use, in my opinion, for this mod. You can get a lot of power much more easy with a huge nuclear or even with a huge fuel or coal plant. And gathering the resources for a power plant isn't really difficult too. If you build something stupid like 200 power fuel generators, it is really not the trouble to have the 1 train station or 1 truck station also built to carry all the fuel needed for the generators. What really is a really useful use case for this is if you have a mining station somewhere out or have a small thing somewhere out and need to power it. So like I have a miner somewhere on a pure iron node and build a vehicle station next to it, and of course don't want to have build power poles over the whole map just to power it up. So I can just build 2 or 4 solar panels with a battery storage next to it and have the whole thing powered right there, right then. And especially in a huge build where you get most of the nodes anyway and have everywhere miners standing around, it is really a nice thing to have also a cleaner look and don't plaster all the world with those power poles. I'm going to make a video about vehicles again, so subscribe and press the bell icon if you want to get notice of this. In this video we will have a brief look into solar panels again because there's a use case in there exactly like this. So there's one more thing I want to say about this mod. It is a safe mod in my opinion, because if you uninstall it, your with the solar panel mod, build objects will just vanish, but you don't have any additional advantages. But you always need to keep in mind, if you uninstall it, all the power generated by those solar panels will vanish too. And if you rely heavily on this, especially if you rely with your main factory on those solar panels, uninstalling this mod will stop all of your buildings connected or powered with the solar panels too. So keep this in mind if using it. If you want to use it in the build, you probably need to use it in small cases or need just to stick with that. But I don't find this a real problem for this mod. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, just press the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to support the channel. It would be really awesome. We also have a Discord server, so I would be happy if I would see you join there. See ya!